Hello, my name is Brother Francisco Whitaker. I'm a Benedictine monk and deacon of St. Vincent Arch Abbey in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and you are watching The Benedict Project. Today, I'm going to answer, or actually in a lot of ways re-answer, a question I've gotten on many videos, and just a comment that a lot of people have just put out there, which is, why are you wearing a ring? So, I'm just going to answer today, why is it that as a monk, I still wear a wedding ring? Now, to even say the word wedding ring might kind of raise some questions or alarms, like, well, why are you calling it a wedding ring? You're not obviously married, so would you even call it that? I still would refer to it as a wedding ring because I am, yes, married. How and what does that mean as a monk, though? Why do I wear a wedding band? And is that required for all monks? So, first and foremost, it is not a requirement. Monks do not have to wear a wedding ring. To me, it's a helpful sign outside of my habit, because there are times where I'm not wearing my habit, right? I'm on a run, or I'm just hanging out with my family. I don't necessarily want to wear it all the time. It's a constant sign and reminder to me of my vocation. And even more specifically, the extent of my vocation in solemn profession. So why do I wear a ring? Because I have made permanent vows to my community and to God. Marriage is a lifelong, full commitment of one man to one woman for the begetting of children, right? That's marriage. Monastics, monks, take a vow at solemn vows, or perpetual, permanent vows of unity between me and Christ alone, and with this community as the group in which I live out that vocation, for the fruit of begetting not physical children, but a spiritual multiplication of the children of God. Basically, my life is devoted to grow the kingdom, to grow the number of individuals who follow and pursue Jesus. So just like a man and a woman are growing the kingdom through their own physical children, so a monk's vocation is through prayer, witness, and evangelization to grow the kingdom for God. Now, a priest has a very similar mission as well. He makes promises, though, to his bishop. A monk makes vows. And canonically, according to the law of the church, those are actually distinct realities. So a vow is even more binding than a promise. Now, the promises of the priesthood are very important. They're very strong. Yet a vow carries even more of a weight. So that I, as Benedict says, once I make this vow, I am not free to leave. And I don't even have full free reign over my body. Which is the case in marriage, right? In Genesis, it says the two become one flesh, which means that I no longer have command over just my body, right? I am now joined to my spouse so that together we have mutual command of this one. So the monastery, when I make final vows, has command because now we are community with one another. They have the purview to direct where I go and what I do. So I wear a wedding ring because in its most basic and spiritual essence, I am in fact married. Married first to Christ, and even in a sense married to this community. Now that sounds kind of strange, the idea of being married to an entity or to a multiplicity of people, but it's married to the mission of this community, devoted fully, wholeheartedly, as best as I can in my own sinfulness, to this and this alone, to Christ and Christ alone. Benedict says, prefer nothing to the love of Christ. A husband and spouse should prefer not the love of no other person to the love that they share with their spouse, right? That's why it is singular between the two of them. Well, I, as a monk, am called to prefer nothing to the love of Christ, to choose nothing else and no one else other than him. And if I am called to live that life, which is excluding all others, which they say that in marriage, for the purpose of bearing fruit for the kingdom, and to be united with Christ in this life as best as I can, and ultimately in heaven, that is a wedding taking place. And I am clothed, just like a bride is clothed, right, in her wedding day. I am clothed now in something new that sets me apart from the rest of the world. We know what a bride is because she wears something different that sets her apart from any of the other women in the church. I wear this because I am meant to be set apart from any other person within the church, aside from, other monks, other religious, in the aspect that my life is devoted to Christ alone. So a wedding ring, why I wear it, is because it is another symbol, both to me and to those who see me, that I am not available to anyone but Jesus. I am not summoned by anyone other than the will of God. And that will is spoken through the abbot, it is spoken through the community, so that I live my commitment to Christ through living my commitment to this community. So people who say, you shouldn't wear a wedding ring because you're not married to someone, or that's confusing to other people, I just say, I am in fact married. I laid down my body on the floor of the basilica, just like we are called to lay down our life for a spouse. I laid down on the floor when I made my final profession and said, this is the life that I will be submissive to. Submission under the mission of Christ himself. And as they say in the exchanging of vows when they place the ring, may this ring be a sign of my love and fidelity. That is what I want this to be. So I wear a ring, not because I'm trying to confuse people or because I have some kind of worldly desire to look like everyone else, but rather because my desire is not to look like everyone else or to be everyone else, but it's to be Christ's, his alone, and to live in faithful service to his mission. So I hope that helps answer the question a little bit more. And if you have more questions about different aspects of being a monk, maybe you're curious about the habit that I wear, you can check out this video where I explain the parts of the monastic habit. Or you can check out this podcast episode where my younger brother Nate just asked me a bunch of frequently asked questions that I often receive as a monk. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. My name is Brother Francisco Whitaker. Please like this video if you did, share it with others, and subscribe to the Benedict Project. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.